Please join me in welcoming the early music group Sacabuche.
Okay, on y va.
Wait, so where's that Tweedy Hall?
Tweedy Hall is in the administration building, where Gracie's Cafe is. That's right, yeah, we can go this way. We're cutting across. Sacabuche is an early music ensemble. We have been together for about 7 years. We often collaborate with other musicians. We focus on the repertoire of the early 17th century and the late 16th century.
I'm probably, because I'm a fake.
We have 3 sackbuts, 2 violins, and an organ as core members, so 6 people are in the core group. And then we have probably 3 or 4 or 5 singers who we work with regularly. You know, when I need a bass, I'll call this one, and when I need a tenor. Benjamin Geyer, for example, our tenor, he's been working with us for a while.
I was thinking it was 2 possible backgrounds.
Yeah.
One, that, and the other one, that.
Okay.
And we'll just see
What turns out, okay. So which side are the violins best on? Remember we had some? Yeah, but they're going to be taking it from the front.
No, it's fine.
Just. How about Gail and Marty right around Krista?
Yeah, so Gail, why don't you cover up right there, and we'll see there. Let's just see, here we go. We'll try a few different things. 3, 2, 1.
That's actually a nice shot. James, could you turn slightly more inwards, just a little bit?
Yeah.
I am Linda Pearse. I am originally from the West Coast, Vancouver Island. That's where I hail from originally, but I left about 20 years ago. And I lived overseas in Europe for about 10 years. I lived in China and South Africa as well. I ended up doing my doctorate at Indiana University in Bloomington, which is where I met all of the members of Sacabuche. And then I was offered the position here at Mount Allison University and was very ecstatic to be able to sort of bring all of my experiences with musical theater and opera and orchestral experiences, jazz experience, home with me to Canada. In addition to performing strictly music concerts, which are early music programs, we also enjoy putting on multidisciplinary projects. So projects that involve images, texts, and music together. And I'm fortunate to have collaborated with some wonderful people, in particular Ann Waltner from the University of Minnesota.
Linda and I collaborated on an earlier project called Matteo Ricci, His Map and Music, which was focused on a 1602 map of the world done in Chinese by an Italian Jesuit missionary to China. And for that, we used Italian music, Chinese music, and newly composed music. And we had texts in both English and Chinese. And we've toured that in China now twice. And we took it to the Boston Early Music Festival and the Indianapolis Early Music Festival. I would say we probably performed that about 10 times.
到中国10万余里，出航海至南天竺，使之有佛，已走4万余里。
Right now we are doing an interdisciplinary project that involves multiple media. So we have images of a map of Barbary from 1500, texts from a variety of sources, as well as music from a variety of sources.
Not only was the city founded on the sea, but the walls that surround her, the fortresses that guard her.
As soon as the sun set, this part of the sea teems with gondolas adorned with charming women and resounds with the beautiful harmony of voices and musical instruments which accompanied our supper until after midnight.
Kevin Morse is the composer for 3 pieces on the program, and he is my colleague at Mount Allison University. He teaches composition in the music department here in Sackville. And he is an experienced opera composer. He writes opera, so he knows how to work with voices extremely well.
They would come past the beacon with the sun on gleaming sail at the spot, holding their wings like birds in flight from countries strange and far.
My participation in Venetia is as someone who researched texts that we would use in the script, and who, working together with Linda and John, devised a structure for the program. And the structure of the program really is framed by the interactions between the music and the text, with people shouting and braying with coarse and disjointed voices, competing with each other, one with water from the Brenta River, another with onions and fresh garlic and moldy melons, rotten grapes, stale fish, and green kindling wood, enough to drive anyone of sound mind crazy.
It was a dream project for me because a lot of my work is on connections between Mediterranean and Northern cultures, between Venice and England and so forth. And when I thought there was a chance to think about connections between the Venetian Maritime Empire and Maritime Canada, I jumped on this project in 2 seconds. And it has been a joy working with these guys. My end was to think about the way Venetian society was organized, to look at Venetian cultural remnants, the poetry of Venice, the literature of Venice, to work with Anne in putting texts together. And we did this to a great extent with thinking about a particular moment in Venetian history, when this once great trading empire, which was the center of the European shipping industry, was starting to go into a period of economic challenge, even decline. And to find something in the pathos of the predicament of lives in Venice in the 16th century that would answer the challenges of people living in places like Sydney and St. John and Antigonish in the 21st century. There are a lot of Venetian sources that I've known, thought about, loved, and was disturbed by over the last decade and a half. And suddenly it was a chance to move those sources from the classroom, from the seminar room, from the conference scene, from scholarly articles, and make them part of a magical evening for an audience. An entirely new way of communicating the city I love so much.
Can we do the ending of that piece? Last four measures would be great. My job is to do everything else. I organize the music, so I pick the music and I work with Anne and John. They bring the texts and then I will read it with them and do readings and give feedback and sort of sculpt things a bit with them together. I rehearse the musicians and I work on staging and the theatrical elements of the show, and I run the rehearsals and I made the images for the background, and so I'm doing the visual and musical end of things. At one point during the rehearsals, you just get so many people on stage, somebody has to just sort of take charge and run it, and that's my job. So I guess that makes me an artistic director, something like that. After that, Dr. Martin plays again, and she plays this funny little one. Can you play the second one? Okay, and there are texts. Do you hear that? Can you listen to her background piece? Try it again. Yeah. Okay, and you guys come up and start your thing. Yep, keep going.
God did not tell Adam, you will hold dominion over women.
Okay, that's great. Beautiful. And so that's the transition. Okay, then we're going to jump ahead. Then there's that instrumental, there are texts, and then there's that instrumental piece.
I think it's safe to say that there is no one standing up here who could have done the project on their own.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. This is a real testament to the work of collaboration.
Well, collaboration, yeah. We're all bringing things to the table, different things. I could never have created a script like this without Anne and John, and I'm quite certain they would have been a little lost with the music.
The music, yeah, I
Very.